Okay. What's the difference between, for people not in the know, myself included, between AdSense and AdWords?
Well, so AdSense is really the publisher side of what is basically AdWords, AdSense. It's a combination, right? So AdWords is what the advertisers see and how the advertisers bid in. And AdSense is really how the ads match the content, right? And that's really where our technology was from, because when we started out as a meaning-based search engine. And as a meaning-based search engine, I'll give you an example. I'll use the Bulls. Bulls.
I use the Lakers, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Lakers fan, but I'll use Bulls because it has a few more meanings. So the Bulls has 11 meanings. It can be a bull stock market, the cattle bull, could be the running of the bulls, could be the Chicago Bulls, right? And there's actually 11 meanings. Could be, BS, right? Mm-hmm. That's another version of the meaning, right? And when we were a search engine, what we allowed you to do, we had two professors from UCLA of lexicology and we entered 2 million words. And then we had 2 Caltech guys develop this algorithm that basically could infer from words next to words and see why they changed the meaning. So I'll give you an example. If somebody typed in Chicago Bulls, we can infer, well, that's basketball, versus bull market, well, that's stock. And, well, we can then give you a different ad. Or a better example is like London, which is a city, and if you put it up there, we'd give you Frommers or Orbits. But if you put Jack London in front of it, now it's Amazon and Barnes & Noble, because that's an author versus a location. And the funny thing is when we originally developed that, we developed it for Yahoo, and it was actually designed for banner ads. They were trying to figure out how to put more relevant ads that were not run of network, that if somebody typed in, using that London example, right, that they were only paying, let's say, $5, but if we could get them, or we could give, let's say, Amazon, Jack London, just people that typed in Jack London, then we can charge them $50. And that was what it was originally developed for. And then we developed it for a company called GoTo.com, which became Overture, and we were actually the driving force for Overture. And the irony is that even though we knew the Google guys, we didn't develop it for Google. Google essentially killed 2 birds with 1 stone by buying that technology and pulling the rug from under Overture. So that's kind of like the background of how we got there, and that drives why and how that got integrated. So Google took that technology and also the name, because we had the name AdSense, and created the publisher network, which was about putting ads onto websites, scanning the page, and inferring from the words on the page what ad to throw up, or inferring from a search what ad to throw up. And in essence, that's why it actually became AdSense.
Interesting. And they also, Google, in acquiring Applied Semantics, also got the search engine tech that you guys developed. So is that really what's powering the Google engine now?
Well, they bought us, and they bought a bunch of other people. So it's also part of the search technology. But it was really the drivers of ad technology, plus it killed the competitor. Within 3 months, Overture was sold to Yahoo. And that was mainly because they didn't have any matching technology after.
Online video is big, right, guys? That's what Chris said in so many words. But surprisingly, right before I was asked to moderate this panel, I went and did a little bit of research and found a very recent Nielsen study that actually found it's only the 8th most popular internet activity. Now, granted, that was on a list that included email, IM, utilities, and entertainment, but still 8th. So as big as we think it is, I think for a digital savvy audience like this, there's still a lot of room for growth. Now, fortunately, the same study found that it's I believe, the fastest growing category after social games and online gaming. Social media, I'm sorry, and online gaming. So it is growing. It is, I'm not trying to underplay its importance, but I think that it's an area with room for growth and with room for learning. And I think that's what we're going to try to explore here today. I guess to kick off with I'm going to ask questions. You guys actually represent different ends of the spectrum when it comes to online video. Rex, Gamer Live TV is a much more niche, geared towards the game industry. And obviously, Jim, you're with the biggest of the bunch out there. I know you don't like the word huge, but Hulu is huge, guys. Newsbreak. Is advertising and online video, has it become a viable alternative to broadcast, or is there still a ways to go on that?
Well, I mean, I don't think it replaces TV. I think it's complementing TV, and it's changing the use case scenario of video. Because the bandwidth is actually increasing, that's really why the experience is there. I mean, everybody's been trying to do online video for a long time, but it's finally to the point where I think there's a perfect storm in terms of the bandwidth, the use case, as well as the content, and places like Hollywood opening up to online video because they've had a garter belt on for many years. And where we attack the spectrum is what Gamer Live TV is we call it an AP for games. It's basically a video news service that pushes out to about 50 game sites, reaching about 20 million gamers. And we produce videos that are, it's event coverage. So, like last week we were at Comic-Con, we'll be at QuakeCon next week. We're even doing interviews here. As well as, hard news, it's studio tours, it's featurettes, it's everything, games, and we're starting to do tech now. And then it gets pushed out to various sites. So these are like, AOL game sites. These are like Hammersuit, the industry gamer guys, or Go Nintendo, Crispy Gamer, GamePro, different types of sites. And really where we're fulfilling is the fact that a lot of those game sites started off as editorial sites, and that's still where they get a lot of their traffic. But video has been something that is percolating up. They know their users want it. At the same time, it's not cheap to do good video. And that's really where we kind of bridge the gap, is on the front end, we provide good video, about 3 to 5 videos a day, covering about 1 to 2 events a week, from the big things like E3 to the small things like games for health or games for change, but it's games related or tech related. And essentially we give these videos to these publishers who either embed them in stories or run them on a page, and it gives them more content, which then engages more users to keep coming to their site, and for users to then stay on the site and keep coming back for more content, while also keeping all the editorial, and it gives them more relevant, and it's better than just embedding a YouTube video.
I think we look at it at Hulu in that we're not so much a complement, or not so much a competitor to TV. And I know that we talked about that was sort of the theme of the panel, is as much as a complement to TV. So there's no denying when you look at the statistics, and more people are watching television online. There's especially the younger demographic. There was a ComScore report I think at the end of last year, that they're going to do it again in 6 months, that 13% of adults 18 to 24 are only watching scripted primetime dramas online, right? I talked to a few people out here who've said, I think Steve was saying he recently cut his cable and is piecing together through a lot of different ways all the video that you want to watch, your favorite shows. You've got Netflix, you've got Hulu. So there's no denying that there's definitely a move there. Where what we talk about with our advertisers is it's a great complement, and actually it makes the TV advertising work better. So people that are exposed to a TV ad online first, and then they see it that same spot on air, it's actually 35% more effective. So we have a lot of interesting conversations with agencies and clients about where does the whole online video fit in? Where does it fit in from a budgetary standpoint? Where does it fit in from just a strategic standpoint? And we always say, follow the audience. Follow the audience. If the audience is going there and it's growing, like you said, then the dollars need to go there. And while it might be a small percentage right now, the amount of time they're spending online, that audience itself is really big, and the engagement factor is really huge. So that's a big part of it for us, is the engagement.
What do you guys see as some developments either that already happened or upcoming that are going to help drive that growth?
We talked about this last night. If you're a sports fan like I am, You got ESPN3, which is getting better and better licensing agreements all the time, so they're able to carry a lot more of the league games across different leagues on ESPN. Then you've got Netflix, which is certainly a competitor to Hulu in many ways, but driving that whole idea of on-demand. And then you have Hulu, and Hulu Plus, our paid option. If you take all of that and you say, all right, look at my cable bill that's $100. What are the shows that I can't get if I get rid of cable? And I have Hulu, and I've got Netflix, and I've got everything else that I've got hooked up. There's maybe 5 or 6 shows for your average person that they say, I'm not going to get to watch that show. You divide that by what you pay for your cable bill, you're paying an awful lot for those shows. So it's the economics of it, like you said. And then the other big driver is the content. So it's always, we always hear that it comes down to the content. As long as the different providers, including Hulu, and ESPN cuts better and better league deals and rights deals, and Hulu gets more and more great content and more networks and more shows, then people are going to go there. We want to make it easy, and that's what Hulu was founded on, is making it very simple and an aggregator, so you can come to one place and get as much as you possibly can. Make it easy, and you put great content there, along with the technology, the broadband growth, then that's what's going to fuel it.
Good. Can you get Jersey Shore 2 online yet? Or is that...
Yeah, we have a little hard time with cable, and for people who don't really do a deep dive on the sort of the challenges behind it. When you think about the business model, the cable companies pay billions of dollars to the networks in subscriber fees, right? And so when they turn around and give those shows to somebody like Hulu, who puts it on for free, they're not huge fans of that. So it's a very complex relationship because NBC, ABC, and Fox own Hulu, if you don't know that. And yet they also get obviously a lot of money from these cable networks. And when you look at something like Hulu Plus, our subscription model, or you look at just taking Hulu and plugging it into your flat screen, and you've got a remote control on your Mac, and you're looking at it through our Hulu desktop application, it's an awful lot like a cable box. And that's very, very scary to the cable companies. But it's also great for the consumers. It's all about choice.
Of course, and price.
Right.
So targeting obviously is where online video trumps TV. But TV also, thanks to the being around for quite a bit of time, has some proven formulas. So can you guys shed some light on some formulas or even some tricks of the trade on how to effectively target your ads on?
Well, I mean, for us, because we can target based, and we're very specific to the gaming industry, so we can target specifically based on metadata down to like the platform or the genre or even the ESRB rating. So we can provide rich targeting in terms of both the content and the advertising for the user. And of course, we're obviously targeting that audience specifically. But it's the information, and the key I think for looking at it from as a marketing medium is that the internet, and that this doesn't apply just to online video, but all online it's a two-way medium. It's something where if you want to, you can have an active communication with the consumer, and especially like in the gaming industry where it is a digital medium. It's a natural because it can present an instant gratification call to action, which TV I don't think necessarily delivers. I think TV is great for image advertising, and it's great for branding. And I think for consumer products or autos, it's one of those things. It's about just grinding and keep enforcing that branding. But if it's down to conversion, and if the marketing dollar has to equate to something like that, then I think online and online video specifically is going to deliver much better bang for the buck.
Yeah. Speaking of the ESRB, Dave told me that he's accepting applications for assistant boobologist. So if anybody's interested, you can see him at the very. That's the greatest job ever. Besides working at Hulu. So for us, targeting is huge, and we've invested a lot of money and a lot of resources in it. We launched something a few months ago called the Ad Tailor. So if anybody, how many people here are actual Hulu users? Okay, overrepresented on the left side of the room, interesting. So if you're a Hulu user, you may have noticed when you're watching an ad now, you'll see in the upper right corner of the video box, it'll say, is this ad relevant to you? And you click yes or no. And if you're a registered user, of which we have about 17 million right now, then it goes right into your profile. And we know a lot about you. And we know exactly what you keep telling us you don't like. So if you have said that you don't like that Toyota Sienna ad, we specifically will not show you that Toyota Sienna ad again.
The wall between video game marketers and consumers has crumbled.